Can you hear it?
I heard that.
Can you hear the talking to the dead? Did you recognize that sound?
That scraping noise?
Yes.
I thought that was the planchette scraping on the board.
You are so smart. Your intelligence level is so good. Hey, Tracy, Christmas girl, welcome to another night of fun. I'm the mad scientist, the wish doctor. That's the mad doll collector of haunted, Kevin Kane. And over here is the invisible woman right there. So it looks like we may be in for another treat of a spirit box session. Is that what I'm smelling?
I don't know what you're smelling, but yeah, we can do a spirit box.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Abnormal Alabama. There's Kevin Kane. He is of My Haunted Dolls and MyHauntedDolls.com. Alabama. And we are here every Tuesday night between 7 and 9. And we are about to go into CT. We're about to go into our, fourth year? About to complete our third year?
I think so.
2019, 2020, 2021. About to come up on 2022. Can you believe that?
I know.
Inconceivable.
Wow.
But we did it.
Yes, we did.
It. And we're just moving and rocking along at the speed of a herd of turtles. So tonight, we're going to go through the human history of trying to communicate with spirit, trying to communicate with the dead. And we're going to start the show off with nothing less than that, with Kevin in modern gadgetry, modern technology being used to, what's that noise? Contact spirit. Do you hear that snap, crackle, pop?
Yeah, it happened.
The
necrophonic here. It started.
I think the spirit's already trying to talk to us here.
Oh.
So Kevin is going to try to get on with it. With what doll do we have?
Get on with it with this new with this new little girl who I have no name for, who I just got a week ago.
All right, hold on a second.
Isn't she just adorable?
I know.
With her curls.
Almost as adorable as you are.
She's almost as cute as me. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Was that you crackling and popping over there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I was having technical difficulties.
She is a technical difficulty. She lives in if you're still having some technical difficulties over there.
We have some new people joined.
Some nude people? Are they naked? Really? Come on. I'll share a link. You want to get on here with us? If you're naked, we can join us now.
I am not pulling the camera off.
Oh, Lord help me, Jesus.
Should it fall off in the middle of the show? You did not say anything.
All right. So we're going to start out with a modern day gadgetry, high technology, the common tool being used today to communicate, as some would say, communicate with spirit. Some would say to communicate with the dead. Some would say it's just all a joke. You decide for yourself. Kevin is a firm believer in this, and so much so he's got a house of haunted items, mostly dolls, but other haunted items. And he does. Oh, on the doll there, is that red hair on the doll?
Yeah, or it might be kind of strawberry blonde in there.
Okay, all right. So there you go. So we're going to start there, and then we're going to talk about throughout history the many different ways we have tried to communicate with spirit, with the other side, that other realm, that place, the abode of the dead. So now, Kat and I are going to vanish from the screen, and we're going to turn it over to none other than the infamous, that well-known, internationally famous, guy. that is so well known that his head is swelled so big it cannot even hardly fit into his camera screen. That's why we have to disappear to give him all the space he needs, because this man has become so popular over the years. 13 books, working on number 14, which I don't think he's will ever get finished.
Yes, I will.
If you hadn't got an autographed picture of this guy right there, Kevin Kane, you are missing out. One day that picture's going to be sold on eBay for millions of dollars. I mean, trillions of dollars. That's going to be so valuable. So everybody give a big round of applause for none other than our very special Kevin Kane.
Oh, yes, here we go. Oh, now you can see me full screen. And here, we'll take this.
Well, you're so, you know.
Take that off so you can see the. Well, put another comment
Okay.
up
Yeah. Christmas girl, I'm doing fine. I cannot speak for these other people, but I'm doing good.
All right, so this, if you didn't see last week, is a REM pod, but it's made into a skull with a Ouija board stuff on the top there, which is kind of cool. From paranormal, from the Pennsylvania Paranormal team. I purchased that from them last weekend, and I'm gonna leave that up there too in case. There you go. Now you can see it. In case that goes off, so you can see the eyes light up. I don't think it's loud enough to hear, but you can see those eyes light up. That means something's touching it. So let's go ahead and start up the necrophonic. Let's see what we can get from this new little doll of mine. I don't know why I'm so out of focus there. That's weird, but anyway.
Take something and just kind of wipe the screen of your camera, the glass there. Could be a dust particle or anything.
Weird because it was focused earlier.
Well, I know you look like Bigfoot for a minute.
Ain't that funny? There we go.
You know, always fuzzy. Is that better?
It's still a little bit.
Are you in the dark?
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
I don't know. Maybe it's because that glare in the glass behind you.
That could be. Here, let's turn on the extra light.
I think it has something to do with those picture frames, that glass on those picture frames behind you. You never had that behind you before. It's throwing the focus out of focus.
Oh, actually, that's better. I'm clearer now. All right.
Maybe you think so.
Oh, shut up. All right, spirit friends. I'm sorry that we had technical difficulties again. Oh, the K2's going. The REM pod's going off just now. Heck no. Did you hear that? Was clear as a bell. Somebody's got to be touching that REM pod. It just went off.
Man, that is the most profound immediate that we've ever had on here.
Yeah. So who touched that skull?
That male voice said REM pod. You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that. It's going off again. Look, see the eye lighting up? Wow. It's going crazy. Wow. Is somebody with this doll that I'm holding? Yes. So who is with this doll? My name is Kevin. What's your name? What's your name? Dude. Oh, there goes the REM pod again. Look, the eye lighting up. That is awesome.
See, it said it again. It said REM.
That is something else. All right. Well, I appreciate you touching the REM pod. That lets us know you're here. Oh, there it goes again. Back away a little bit. I mean, it can't be. I mean, you have to touch it for it to go off, so or be right up on it. But can you touch the REM pod again so we know it was definitely you? Oh, there it goes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Look at that. Look at it going, man. That's the most it's gone to town like that since I've had it. There it goes again. That is amazing.
Kevin,
Huh?
my grandfather's name is Dude.
It is?
Yes.
Well, we were getting dude on here. Me and Kayleen were getting that up in Connecticut in the cemetery. It kept saying dude.
So Tracy heard, I'm here.
This K2 is still going off.
Here.
So who is here? Tell me your name. No. I told you mine. My name's Kevin. Are you related to somebody here? I heard a couple of no's in there. This REM pod is still going off.
There's more than one there.
How many spirits are here right now? I heard my name is, and then it stopped. What is your name? I know you. Oh, you like that REM pod, don't you? I hear a little girl in there talking too. Is there a little girl with this doll? Yes. What is her name? REM pod still going on. I'm sorry. What is her name? I heard a, I don't know. Did you say Julia? Yeah. How old are you, Julia? And Tracy just commented 4. Is that 4 spirits or is that the age 4? Oh, there goes the REM pod again. Are you 4 years old? You sure like that REM pod, don't you? Are you having fun? I still wonder, did she mean 4 spirits or the age 4?
She said, all.
Oh. Okay, yeah, Tracy said 4 spirits. Are all 4 spirits with this little doll? There's the REM pod again. Hey. Our little hey. I'd love to talk to you some more. How are you? Is the little girl playing with the REM pod? I guess that's a yes. It's going off. So are you happy here? Or is there something that you need? What is it that you need? When I saw this doll in the store, oh, man, that REM pod. When I saw this doll in the store, I felt very connected right away, like I couldn't leave without her. Was that you pulling me? Already yes. So we got the name Julia. What are the names of the other spirits? And hello to everybody tuning in. Georgia Conley, Georgia the Ghost Hunter. There's the REM pod again. Are all of you touching the REM pod? We've just got a little bit of time. What else would you like to say to us?
Book. See.
Is that you still playing with the REM pod? Yes. Well, I appreciate you being here. Or man, I'll definitely be using this REM pod some more since y'all are figuring out how to use it. Yeah. I'll be sure to take it. Oh, the little girl's voice said, Dad. Yes, I'm your new spirit, Dad. There goes the REM pod again. That is the most active it's been with that REM pod since I brought it home. Well, I've only had it over a week now. So if it's okay to ask, what are your ages? A lot of REM pod activity. Are you good spirits? Yes. Is there anything negative with this doll?
Just the guy holding her.
Yeah, isn't it? I know I don't feel anything negative. I really like this doll. All right. Well, I'm so happy you like that REM pod. I still see the eye lighting up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. Is there any last words you'd like to say? All right, well, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to go ahead and do a little countdown here so we can. Oh, still playing with the REM pod. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to count down from 5, and to make sure if any spirits here that don't belong, please go back to where you belong, because I'm going to close the door. And everyone back away. Make sure you're where you came from. 5. It just said poop. Poop. All right, well, I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Goodbye.
I will tell you that's the most activity we've had during the show. Well, we had those 2 dolls that actually moved on the show that time, but as far as the spirit box and
the REM pod.
Well, the REM pod's a new gadgetry, and of course, speaking of communicating with spirit, we have one of our favorite and special guests from over in the Georgia. What in the heck are you doing?
Trying to turn that off, the ad off of my phone.
All right, so let us welcome to the really big show.
The really big show.
Our friend Atalanta.
Atlanta.
Good evening.
Hello, Atlanta Moonfire. How are you?
I'm
Atalanta.
great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hey, I'm blurry again. I'm blurry. Oh.
That's my Jerry Lewis move.
Lady.
Hi. Hi.
You're having too much fun without me.
Oh, man, when you buried everybody you know, you learned how to have fun by yourself.
Happy Poppy Day.
Happy Poppy Day. All right. Or happy Poppy Day to you too. All right, guys. Welcome everybody to the really big show tonight. And we are talking about communicating with spirit, as some would say. Other people say communicating with the dead. However you choose to view it, there's another realm out there. I think we can all kind of agree on that. Maybe we don't agree on what's that other realm is about. But we do agree there's something out there, and we all are fascinated with trying to communicate and find out more about it. The indigenous peoples talked about their ancestors a lot. And you've got to give credit to the indigenous people because they really were tuned in a lot more than we are in our very fast-paced society full of all this ambient energy and noise and whatnot that keeps us forever tuned out of whatever may be out there that we could listen to. But we're going to talk tonight a little bit about the history of that. And speaking about the history of communicating with spirit, Atalanta has made a career out of using a very ancient practice in modern times. Unlike the person above her there by the name of Kevin Big-Headed Kane, who Kevin likes all the modern technology.
Right over there.
Kevin likes all the modern tech items. He's a Zach Bagan of Alabama. And,
I've got a pendulum in there, so I've got some old stuff.
And he finally, you see that skull behind him? As much as he claims to have apprehension over the Ouija board, show him the skull, the top of that skull.
Yeah, I showed it a minute ago. It's got the Ouija design on it.
Yeah, so he's got a little skull carved
See it in the
Ouija
glare.
board. Yeah.
It's got
So,
the planchette on the back.
so
That is a REM pod. It's not an actual.
it's a REM pod. It's not a real skull. He couldn't afford the real thing, so he got a plastic one.
You would real thing.
Even though I
There's
love
ways to get one for free, but I'm not going to do that.
I heard maybe might be some government agent headed out to his backyard to dig up some of that property out there to get it. There might be some skulls out there somewhere. I don't know.
I got a list of victims.
I know you can get one on the internet. They'll send it right to your house. You can get a full
That's it.
skeleton and everything.
Well, it's interesting.
That is
Now, of
expensive.
course, 21st century, we got all these gadgets. We got spirit boxes. We use tape recorders or digital recorders for EVP sessions. We got EMF meters. We got all this FLIR cameras, you name it. And you go back through history, and a lot of this started, and most of it started just using what we have here. Now, no, I'm not talking about this hair. Even though this connects me to my ancestors.
That covers
All right.
that big head.
Talk about big head. Let's measure heads. We're going to have a head measuring competition here. All right. So, like I said, we've had a retro. How would you word this with the bone throwing lady here? That is a very ancient practice.
Oh,
Bam. Few people. I don't think they even really know when that started, do they?
No,
The
I mean,
real
it goes
history
back
of it?
thousands of years. They don't know the
Yeah.
real history of it.
So if you go
And
back
it's on
way back, yeah.
all continents and countries, yeah.
Now, if you go back in the early days, and so as she starts her little presentation here, I want everybody to take a moment, take a breath, and I want you to think about a time when there was no electricity, no internet, no ambient. When it got dark at night, the only illumination was the stars and the moon. Okay, and listen to this. Listen to
that's
this
my
fool.
teeth chattering.
Listen to this fool.
That's my teeth chattering in fear.
And this is exactly why we need to go back in time to get away from that crap. But they were really able to tune in a way that we don't. And I think that's why we actually kind of need some of this technology today, because I think the average person just can't tune it all out to do what we used to do at a time when there was only sound was nature and maybe the snap, crackle, pop of a fire that was built or something. And that's even something we can talk about too. But since Atalanta is so gracious to have given us her precious time, which she has so little of anymore, please tell
Always
us
have time for you.
tell us a little bit about bone throwing.
Bone throwing. Okay, so it's ancient. We don't know when it started. It's been around for thousands of years, all over the world. Everybody has done it. The type of bone throwing that I particularly do, though, has been around for a few hundred years. It's during the slave trade. It came about. It's Southern Hoodoo, Native American, African mix. But essentially, bone throwing gets you in touch with your ancestors. You may talk to your deities as well, spirit guides, things like that. But it's predominantly you get in touch with your ancestors, and they speak through you through the bones. So essentially, a session would be, if I were sitting down with you, for instance, I would ask your permission to talk to your ancestors. We would do a little cleansing of the bones, a prayer over them, asking for the ancestors to speak through me. I'm just the conduit, not a medium or anything like that. I'm just the conduit. So the ancestors speaking through me, plus my intuition and what they're telling me, gives you the information that's received. And the type of information you can get is you can things that are currently going on in your life. You can get advice for them. Things that are coming up in the future. you can get advice for, or if it's something that's unpleasant, you can possibly change it. They give you advice on how to change it. They also, if it's something that you can't change, how you can deal with it. So there's all different things. Your ancestors are around you all the time. And people don't realize that, but they're very important in your life because they actually put you in positions of opportunity. They protect you, they guide you, they advise you, they do all these wonderful things for you. And the bones are just a way to communicate with them to get that advice and that information. So
let's get a little bit more technical. I understand exactly what you presented there. And I know that in your kit, if you will, you have added other items besides bones in there, other trinkets, maybe crystals or whatever. I think maybe even buttons. I don't know, a little bit of everything kind of accumulated in there. But why would bones affect that communication? What's the philosophy or what the belief behind? I've got these chicken bones and whatever. Why would this?
Bones.
Yeah, I mean, why couldn't I just pick stuff off my desk and throw it on the ground and say, "Ooh"?
It's just a tool. It's the energy that they give off and what they represent is just a tool. For example, like you mentioned a button, okay? A button meaning, the traditional meaning of a button is connecting. So what that would do is that would connect two subjects together, and you're probably, that's probably the easiest way to understand it. Connect two subjects or two parts of the reading together. It's the type of energy, the bones, the shells, the curios, which is what I use, that give off, and that's what they use to communicate with you. It's kind of like Kevin using that box, you know, how there's spirit box, the different words coming through. It's the same thing, only you're using the energy of the items that you're throwing.
Okay, so given that connecting together thing, the first thing that came to my mind is, ooh, I could use zippers or Velcro because it has the same significance, you know. So
you could use all kinds of things. Yeah, anything that speaks to you. If you're connected with your ancestors, if you're connected with your collection of bones, anything that speaks to you, if there's something in there, for example, go back to the button. If the button doesn't speak to me anymore, I pull it out and I replace it with something else. I've got about 150 pieces, and then I have a whole basket more that I interchange them. If something stops speaking to me, if the ancestors stop communicating with me with a particular piece, I cast it aside for a little while and I replace it with something else. So yeah, you can use almost anything. If it's speaking to you, if the ancestors are speaking to you and saying, pick up that trinket of some sort or that seashell, then you do it. And once you get in touch with your ancestors, it's easy. It's the easy thing to do. So.
Well, I know. I appreciate that because I have had spirit communication for a long time, usually Jägermeister, but it told me to do some things that got me in trouble. So I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
You're always in trouble.
Yeah, he's trouble.
You're always in trouble.
With a capital T.
So this is bone throwing is one of those things, and folks that are watching here, invite your friends and whatnot, because just a little bit later into the second hour, if this lady will stick around and be gracious enough, we'll pick a couple of you guests and let her do a reading for you via bone throwing. The last time she did it with us, she pointed her camera down at what she's doing, and she did the reading right in front of you. So you guys invite some more people, like, share, you know the routine. And in the second half of this, it starts after 8 o'clock. We're gonna get this. Oh, she's got some spirit there. Okay.
Yeah.
But seriously, she's done it for us before, and tonight it could be your turn. So you know, get your friends over here, share it on social media, put it on TikTok, whatever, get it out there. And she's also in the second half going to give all her how do I get a hold of you, and she also she's written a book, and it's a #1 bestseller in Hiram, Georgia, I think. But it is a good book. Didn't you give me a copy of that book? Don't I have a copy of that book? Yes. And I
Yep.
tell you what, she put a lot of work. She's more detailed oriented than I am. When I've written several books, but I just kind of throw a bunch of words out there and hope they stick, and
Oh,
So,
whatever. We're all good.
bottom line is, if you're interested in any subject like this, and some people experiment. Well, let me try this. Let me try that. What works for me may not work for you in communicating with spirit. Like I said, Kevin is more of a techie guy. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have my spirit box here, and
kind of a minor techie,
yeah.
not
And
too
then other
expensive.
people are like, I don't want the techie stuff. I want the real. I just want the hardcore spirit talk to me. Okay. So you have to find out what works for you, right? Anybody argue
Yep.
that? I mean, is that fair? In other words,
A
you're
good
not
argument. No,
well, go get you some spirit.
Let's see. Oh, that's just tea and lemon. No, dear.
Yeah, mine's
All right.
just water.
Yeah. Mine's just empty.
Close to it.
But you go back through history, and we could talk about the ambiguity of death. Ambiguity of death means that until you get there, you don't know. Everybody has the tradition that they were raised under, the understanding that they were taught from youth, that their parents were taught, generational. It kind of sticks like that, right? So that ambiguity of death means simply, again, that, well, we've got my view, I'm searching. I'm on a spiritual journey and I'm not sure. And a lot of people, now some people think, oh, I know that was grandma, that was Aunt Sue, and other people are just not so sure. So that creates the ambiguity of death, if you know what I'm talking about. And so what is the best way to get beyond that ambiguity and lock in a belief system? Well, it'd be talk to someone that's been there and done that, meaning to talk to the dead. So there's two reasons that we want to communicate with dead people or the other realm. Is there's that big question mark. We know we're going to die. We know that we have a limited time in this realm. And so part of it is we want comfort in knowing, maybe think we know what's going to happen after we end this part of our journey. And the other part of it is we've lost loved ones and we want to say that or receive that last whatever from them, or know that they're okay, and that sort of thing, to find comfort in that communication. So knowing that is why we own this diligent search. And through the 1800s, this big spiritualist movement, there are churches we've talked about on this show before, spiritualist movement, spiritualist churches, and they have mediums. And this is what they do. They say, well, I know Christianity believes in life after death, but we believe in it more than they do because our whole religion is based on communicating with them. Okay, so that's what they do in their church services. And then there's others that's not church, that maybe like Atlanta. It's like, well, I'm not interested in church. I've got bones, and the bones talk to me. If you go back, and here's an introduction to this entire thing tonight, where I am as far as the history of this is concerned, is that early on, when we were at a time when we didn't have all this ambient stuff, we didn't have electricity and all this stuff. So we had a lot of time to look and think, something we don't have today. Our entire job through the daytime was looking for food, hunter-gatherers, and that sort of thing, and making sure we had some kind of shelter. So we were very connected and very in with our environment and the earth. In the midst of that, we're looking up at the heavens and we're seeing these wonderful shaped clouds that left a lot to our imagination. And then in the midst of that, we had to deal with death and loss. The cold of the winter, and things would die, the leaves would die, the plants would die, and our loved ones would die. And so that opened our journey up to say, what's going on here? And so that kind of created this. One of the earliest ways that humans recorded that we know, bone throwing is clearly one of those, but was what as modern day would think of as mirror scrying, except they would use a pool of water. And they would gaze into this very still pool of water and they would see reflections. And that was their way of saying, ooh, that looks like a face, and so forth. And they would communicate in that way. And then things went on. And then, you know, at some point, of course, like Atalanta does, throwing of the bones, they say, well, this chicken died. I'm going to save its bones. This, you know, I mean, really, there's something here. Mm-hmm. And whatever bones they could gather up, and it's like, well, there must be something connected because at one time these things were alive. They moved, they made noise, they, just like me, they were alive. So there's got to be something connected to this. So that became a thing. And it kind of went on to where we are today. The spirits, there's some people that present themselves as a medium, which you don't. And they feel that just psychically, just without any tools, they can sit back and just zone in and say, I'm getting a message from Kevin's mother.
Oh.
Okay. And she is pissed. She said, Kevin, I told you not to eat that. That was not your cookie. Yeah. See, he knows what I'm talking about.
What cookie?
And there's the unfortunate part about all this is because there is such ambiguity with it. There's so much unknown to it that there are a lot of scam artists with it that are raping people for money. We've seen them on TV. We know who we're talking about. I used to be able to do a perfect, what's his name, crossing over guy, John Edwards.
John Edwards, yeah.
The easiest reading that you can do is gallery reading.
This is the best photo editing app ever.
What is he doing?
I'm so sick of these ads.
I know. Turn off
I'm
Pornhub
sorry.
and
I'm
get
trying
with
to. It's not Pornhub.
Georgia's leaving
sound
tonight.
That thing.
Yeah, Georgia don't want to be with us anymore.
So
anyway,
rain collecting dolls there.
Different people have found different ways. The real popular thing that we're into now is all the ghost hunters that go into scary, spooky, abandoned places and graveyards, and they're seeking communication with the dead. There, my philosophy is that it's all around us. That you don't have to go anywhere. And I think Kevin's first 30 minutes of this show proved that because he's got these gadgets and he was what the communication he got was the most phenomenal communication we've had in the 3 years of doing this show. We've had dolls move before, but that kind of direct communication, it was pretty phenomenal. If you didn't get here till later, go back and watch it. It was really exciting. Kevin did not want to end it. It was really phenomenal.
No, I knew it was gonna go long if I didn't stop it.
So Playful Rain, good deal. I am Kelsey. That is Kevin with his doll. That first 30 minutes we communicated with, or Kevin did, and you got to go back and see that. And then of course there is, who's that? Atalanta Moonfire, the bone thrower, and then we have a picture here of someone that don't want to really be with us. Hello.
Hello, I am here. I am listening, and my camera is broke right this moment. I've got to get a new one.
What the reality is she is spirit. This picture was taken just a few minutes before she died, and we're communicating with her spirit.
She dead.
Are you there?
Did you guys tell people I was dead?
Are you there?
Oh, very nice.
Communicating my spirit. Oh my gosh. I go away for 2 weeks because I'm busy doing something, and you guys go and tell people I'm dead. Great. Did y'all at least have a funeral for me? Did anybody show up?
Yeah. We had you on the spirit box and everything.
That's right.
Wow. Wow.
So one interesting way, and I actually built one, there was a time going back into early history, the Greeks and the Romans, and they would go down into kind of like a cave area where there was a pool of water down in this cave. And it was kind of like I talked about, perfectly still body of water. They would sit at the side of this and they would illuminate behind them just a little candle. So there was no direct light. It was just kind of a little bit of ambient light, not directly shining into the water, but just illuminated just a little bit. They would not stare directly into the water, but they would stare kind of off to the side. And they would get into a meditative state. That evolved into what we call today a psychomantium. Dr. Raymond Moody was one of the forerunners of creating a psychomantium. You get a mirror in a dark room and get yourself comfortable in a chair, and you put a light, a dim light behind you, so that light is not directly reflecting in the mirror. You're not sitting directly in front of the mirror. Again, you're sitting off to the side so you don't see your own reflection in the mirror. The room is totally dark, so there really is no reflection. The light is very, very dim, just from a small candle. You get in that meditative state. The process, and anyway, I've got a portable one that I built. We've used at events before. And you get in, and you need a quiet place. The best way to do it is I'm coaching people and preparing them to go into this experience. I always tell them to, if there's a particular person that's passed that you want to communicate with, that you want to hear from, that you want to connect with, to get some item, a picture or some item that belonged to them, and hold it and focus on their image. Try to remember, if you will, any conversation you had with them, any phrases or common sayings that they used to have. If they smoked, the smell of the tobacco, anything that would connect you with that person. And then prepare yourself to go into psychomantium. And that would enhance your chance to have an experience. Some people have visual experiences. Some have visual and audio experiences. Others don't have any grandiose experience, but they come out feeling better, as if somehow spiritually they connected. They didn't have audio, they didn't have their sight, but they still, in a spiritual way, felt that they connected. And so that is kind of a popular thing, but it never really, I guess, a lot of people, there again, in our world today, we look for this instant gratification, which that's why Kevin has the gadgetry, because he can instantly hear, "I hate you," on a recording or something. "Yes, I'm dead. Let me sleep," whatever. And and then you have others. It takes longer to do what Atalanta does, right? It's not instantaneous.
No,
You got to go through a process.
You got to go through a process. Mm-hmm.
And I guess you'd really freak out if all of a sudden one of the bones looked up at you and said, "Hello."
What are you doing?
I think I just started dancing.
I know. I haven't had that happen yet. Not yet.
Oh, wait a minute. I should find that video. Remember that video? The pole dancing skeleton bones?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, find that video.
Yeah. All right, guys. Believe it or not, even though I like to have fun, we do take this subject seriously. This is Atalanta's full-time gig. This is all she does. She doesn't do anything else. She does not strip on a pole. So put your $1. If you got $1 bills,
Not anymore.
don't put them in her garter. Save them for her book. Okay. And she also, am I right in saying that you also sell the bone kits? The kits.
Mm-hmm. And I teach classes. I sell the kits. I teach classes online and in person.
Okay.
Classes are one-on-one.
Give us some background. You already told us a little bit about what you do as far as the bone throwing, where that came from, how you do it. Now give us your background. What led you on this journey, how you got here, and just lead us through to where you are today.
Okay. Well, so I've had I've had contact with spirits since I was a little kid. Not necessarily communicating, talking to them, but them appearing to me. Just throughout my life whenever I was younger. So it obviously sparked my interest in how to communicate with them. When I got in my mid-20s, of course, I played with a pendulum and stuff like that when I was younger. But when I got in my mid-20s, a friend of mine introduced me to tarot. So I read tarot for years. I still read it sometimes, but I guess it's been 13 years ago now, I was introduced to the bones at a festival, and I just felt immediately connected to it. So the same friend that taught me tarot, his family, his line, his lineage taught bones as well. So he actually taught me, and I was blessed to have that, because most of the time they don't teach you unless you're in the family. So I was blessed to have this friend of mine, Lauren, instruct me on how to read bones. And then from there, it just kind of blew up and went everywhere. I started studying anything I could find, which there wasn't very much out there until like 2014, I think it is. Michelle Jackson came out with her book on instructing how to throw bones, the same type that I throw. So I of course, read her book, and she was and is my hero. And then,
I was
yeah.
your hero. Jeez.
Well, you're my hero. I thought you were my boyfriend. What's up with that?
I get confused sometimes.
Get it straight now. But no, yeah. So I've been doing it for about 13 years, and I guess it was a year and a half ago, I decided to write a book, and because there just wasn't any out there about how to throw, except for that one that I mentioned. So yeah, I just kind of woke up and said, I think I'm going to write a book. I had been teaching classes on it, and it just kind of fit together, and it seemed like the time was right. Things started falling into place. And that's why I say, talk to your ancestors and, stay in communication with your ancestors, because they honestly put opportunity in front of you. I mean, once I decided to write the book, things just started falling into place, and yeah, it just went on from there. So now, today, that's what I do full time, is I read bones. I also travel around with the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, reading bones, selling my kits. I do online classes. I do personal classes, one-on-one online. And then I also do group classes like workshops and things like that. So yeah, and of course I sell my book. So that's what I do full time. That's where I'm at today. And I'm traveling. I made 23 appearances this year, and then next year I've got 18 scheduled, and that's not including the metaphysical stores yet. So
Let's see. And Mick Jagger thinks he's hot stuff. Huh? Okay. move like Jagger. All right. But really, that's fascinating, because when we first connected, she was just kind of getting going with this full-time endeavor. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I was very part-time. Yeah, when I first met you,
she was just kind of climbing
very
into it, and I thought, well, I didn't know where that was going to go, but I mean, just sitting back and watching, it's like, okay, I'll never see her again. Anyway, as we got 6 more minutes before we get into the second half of the show, you guys that's watching, please share and like and whatnot wherever you're watching this. Because we're going to lead into, in this second half, I think she's going to do some bone reading for you guys. We will randomly pick a couple of you guys and let her do that. But before we do that, I want to turn this over to Kevin, because I've shared my views a little bit. I'd like to hear where Kevin views about the afterlife and communicating with the dead and that sort of thing. And he comes from a very, I'm not going to say fundamentalist Christian viewpoint, but a conservative Christian viewpoint, even though he doesn't like Donald Trump.
Who said I didn't like Donald Trump? I like Donald Trump.
So anyway, yeah, open mic.
Okay, it's open. Now, what can I say? What can I say now that I've got the floor here? What can I say? Well, you see me communicate with spirits, so I can't sit here and say, don't do that, because I've done it myself. I've done it on me.
Do as I say, do, not as I do.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Or do.
Well, it did say poo-poo or something, didn't it? But
I don't know if it was saying poo or poop. But it was definitely a poo sound there.
I must have missed that part.
If you
But I-
missed the first 30 minutes of listening to that spirit box, you got to go back in this archive version. And it was
Definitely.
phenomenal. Tonight, it
It
was
was-
really phenomenal. And if you hear something, put it in the comment section.
It was
Because
like-
as you do this live, you can't grasp everything. But when you're watching an archive version, you can stop it, rewind it, turn it up, play with it, and get more out of it, right?
yeah. It
Okay,
was like
so-
she was upset when I said we got to turn this off because that poo.
So Kevin used to belong to ghost hunting groups, paranormal research groups at one point. I think COVID kind of slowed a lot of that down in some ways in
Yeah.
our area, but he's had a lot of experiences, even without gadgets, right? I mean, you've had experiences
Yeah,
that
I
had nothing to
mean-
do with a spirit box or anything else.
Well, see, I grew up in a haunted house over there in West Jefferson where there was Cherokee territory there, Cherokee, which is cool because I have Cherokee bloodline, and we would get all kinds of creepy stuff going on in that house. So it was hard not to find some sort of early interest in ghosts and the afterlife. And I also had seen back when I was younger, especially my sensitivity was stronger back then. I would, a few times I had seen solid figures that nobody else saw. And but I was raised in Baptist church, and Baptist church was a place they don't like to talk about that now. But I mean, it is. You talked about earlier, or Atalanta said that the communication she does goes thousands of years back. Actually, even in the Bible, there's an incident where
Samuel.
Yeah, well,
right?
you just took the words out of my mouth there. Yes, it was.
That's
Saul.
because I'm psychic. I knew where
He's
you were going.
psychic. It was the Witch of Endor, I believe, is who it was, and she was communicating.
that was a Disney film.
When you wish upon a ghost.
But there is that example in the
Uh,
Bible he's talking about. There's
yeah.
absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah,
She
she
went to what we today call a medium.
Yeah, Saul
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
her and she called up Samuel, and Samuel said, "Why did you disturb me?"
Yeah,
You
I was
you
sleeping.
gotta
I was
know
sleeping
what
pretty
to-
good. You came along. Yeah.
And it talks about in the Bible, you have to be leery of it, which I believe it's because as humans we can be easily fooled, and I believe just as there's good and even human spirits, there are evil forces, demonic, that like to trick you and make you think that
Yeah, go out and try to buy a car.
gremlins
Never been ran.
and
Don't use any oil.
yeah, only 1,000 miles on it.
Yeah, owned by grandma. Didn't tell you that grandma was 28 years old.
Yeah. But I found a way to balance my Christian beliefs and the belief in the paranormal. Because I mean, God Himself is supernatural.
Well,
Yeah.
I've always said, if you pray to Jesus, you're praying to a dead person that became a spirit.
Hey, yeah, and we even have a
he
song
was
in
a
our
human.
church.
He was
We-
human. He was executed by the state. And you're going out now and saying in the name of Jesus, and Jesus help me.
When I was
In
teaching,
fact, when I was a kid, I thought I was Jesus because every time I
God.
turned around, my dad would say, Jesus Christ.
You've got God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, or God the Holy Ghost. I mean, boom, right there, the Holy Spirit. So
Well,
if you're Christian, you have to believe in spirits.
we had a song we sing in the children's department called "Supernatural God."
Oh, yeah.
All
yeah,
things are
yeah,
possible.
Yeah.
Supernatural God.
Yeah.
And that's supernatural means above natural, beyond natural. So it is there. And even if you're a Christian, you've got some sort of belief in it. But
So you've had experiences without any of the gadgetry,
oh yeah.
but you like using the gadgetry. Is the gadgetry that important to you? I mean, if you and I went out and it's like, hey, let's do an investigation over here. Let's go to Atalanta's place. She's had some activity, and let's sit there and see what we get. Could we accomplish as much just with ourselves that we do, or is these tools simply for validation and so forth?
Yeah, as far as is something haunted or not haunted, is good or bad, I rely on my own sense and instinct more than I would something electronic, especially if a spirit can fool, like a bad spirit can easily fool you, make you think it's a good one. I like that I've at least got some partial sensitivity I inherited from my grandmother and great grandmother.
Right.
And my mom had some of that too, according to my dad. But so I can kind of, pick up on if something's bad, let's not mess with this, or if it's a good spirit, hey.
That's a good thought. I get you. I think that was bad, so we're going to get rid of it.
But as far as the technical stuff, the cameras and recordings, the importance of that is it's documenting it, so there is some evidence to show somebody else, because I can't show you my feelings or show you that, hey, I heard a whisper behind me and nobody else did. But when you've got it documented on a recording, and now I'm not sure, I'm still wondering about these really, and I'm not going to spend money on it, but these really fancy things like that camera they've got, that when I never can remember the name of it, but on the monitor, when you're filming on the monitor, it shows little stick figures that are supposed to be
that is the same thing they have on. That's the same thing, Kevin. They've got on Xbox. It's called Connect.
Well, it looks like they're doing the robot dance.
Yeah, and you can actually, they build their own with one of those Connect devices that was used with Xbox.
Yeah, I remember Connect.
Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. And so if something is out there that, it's one of those things, like you said, with technology, you've got to have a certain amount of skepticism with any of it. Like when you're doing the spirit box, what you're picking up, and you could misinterpret something, or, it might not be real. So you got to kind of balance it all out. Unlike what you sense in other ways. And so I guess when you're doing this, Kevin, you balance it out with what you're sensing as well as the technology.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. And that's helped me. We've been in places where, like these woods over here behind Camulga Mill and where's that, back behind Childersburg.
Mm-hmm.
I went out there.
Yeah, the grist mill.
Yeah, the grist mill.
Where the covered bridge is.
Yeah. And I went out there with Spirit of, what am I saying? Spirit. Scare of Alabama was the name of our paranormal team. And we went out there and did an open investigation where we actually, to get a donation for the mill and bridge there, we opened it up to a limited number of public people to come in and pay tickets to see us investigate. That money went to Camulga and all that. Mm-hmm. So, and we got to hawk our books, so we made a little money too. But we went out in those woods, and not only were we hearing Native American drumming, but we caught it on the recording, and we could hear it on the headphones. So we have that documented. But while they were hearing that, I heard it. It was like a good and evil thing going on there. I heard a woman scream in the other direction. I kept getting a vision of a woman being chased by a group of men, not like, something like the late 1800s, maybe turn of the century. And I felt something nasty, evil. And I saw a few times I'd seen a Native American spirit there, like sort of was watching after me. I don't know if it was one of my ancestors or what. But when I started feeling that negative entity, that spirit looked at me and said, I think you should go. Well, enough said. So I went up to Kim, and they're over there enjoying the drums. And I tell them, Kim, tapping, I'm like, I think we need to get out. We need to get out of here. There's something bad out here. We need to go, Kim. And but they were so fascinated by the drums. I said, all right, forget y'all. I pulled out my crucifix, and I'm heading back down the trail. And they saw me going. They started, Kim's like, well, I guess we should make our way back, before it gets too late. Because it's already pitch black. This was late at night.
And that is way out in the country, folks, where he's talking about. There's no ambient light whatsoever. No. Plus, a big part of it on the other side of the stream there is very wooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we went back, and now I swore And boy, when I got in my car, I felt like something was wanting to tag along. And I said out loud, if you don't belong here, get your tail out of this car. I'm not taking you home with me. Get out! In the name of Christ, all that stuff. But I swore I'd never go back. And then you saw me.
Yeah,
that was
you went
about
back.
4 or 5 years ago.
You went back this year.
Yeah, just a couple of months ago. It was broad daylight, though. But
It don't matter. Spirits don't care what time of day it is. Get over it.
But I caught the whistle. There's a whistle, like somebody was right next to me whistling, and I was by myself in the middle of the woods. And so that's out there on my video that I did out there.
Okay. All right. So I guess we still have Catherine there. I'd like to hear her take if she's there. Breaker 19.
breaker. Over.
We got a picture and no sound.
Come on back there, Catherine. Over.
Come on down. We're having what's behind door number 3. Okay. If she comes back, she can interrupt if she's here.
I'm still here.
Okay. Then it's your time to answer the question about your feelings on talking. You need to get rid of whatever's in the background. Talking to the dead. Where and how? I mean, what we've been talking about is like, okay, Kevin likes the techie stuff. Atalanta likes throwing the bones, which is a very ancient practice. And Kevin actually intertwines a little bit of his psyche along with the techie stuff. He don't just depend on one. Tell us your views on all this and any experience you've had.
I like to use a Ouija board. I like to use a scrying mirror. I like to walk down the street and see stuff.
So what's the most profound experience you've had and how did you have it? In other words, what tool, if you used any, was it just in your mind or is it, what would you identify as the most profound experience you had?
Oh God, I got to choose one.
What about the dollhouse grave?
Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The most profound thing with a spirit I have is my grandfather, who happened to die. I don't remember how many years ago, but I was looking him up just a minute ago on to try to remember what year it was. But when he was dying, he was on hospice and he was sitting in the hospital bed in the living room, and my grandmother was there, and we were all staying there. And my sister lived next to my grandmother, and I had gone and laid down and was going to go to sleep. And about that time that I'm just about asleep, my grandfather, who I called Pop, he came and he knocked on the door and he said, "Catherine, I came to tell you bye." And he told me not to cry. And it was just like he was standing there, but he wasn't human. Like, yeah, it was a human form, but it was like he was see-through. I don't know. It was just very different. That was the most profound thing I think I've ever happened.
Okay, so you clearly felt it was a spirit and not flesh and blood.
Well, he couldn't. I mean, my grandfather had what is called an external voice box because he smoked and he had cancer.
Okay, so he didn't have his own voice box anymore.
Right. So, no, but it was his regular voice, his voice before he lost his voice box.
Okay, all right.
So that's the voice that I heard, and that's when I knew that he was fine and everything was going to be okay.
Okay, so you don't feel that there's a need for any of the tools, even though there's some that you do like to use.
Yes, there are some tools that sometimes I just don't always. I guess sometimes I try to disconnect from it because it's always right there in front of my face, and don't always need a tool because it's there. And sometimes you have to disconnect your feelings and yourself from it, because if it's always there, it can annoy the crap out of you. You ever seen the movie Sixth Sense?
Yes.
I think we all have, yes.
Sometimes it's almost like that situation. If you let it get to the point where it's bombarding you, you have to stop it and control it, or they will drive you absolutely crazy.
All right. So like I said, that's why I call it the ambiguity of death, because we all have our different kind of views, and we even have different views exactly where we go and what's going on at that moment as far as spirit is concerned. And so it takes on that ambiguity. Anyway, so we're into the second half of the show. We're going to be down to 45 minutes here in a moment. And I am looking at a very active participant in the chat room, and Playful Rain has been very active, and would
Yes.
Playful Rain like to have her a bone reading in his or her behalf? I say her, I don't know to his or her. Playful Rain.
I think that's her, but I'm looking at the profile picture.
Playful Rain, if you are there, would you like for Atalanta to do a bone throwing in your behalf? And I know there's a little delay here, so it'll take a second to get a response. I hope they're listening.
Yes, she said. There she is.
Okay, so are you interested
Yes,
in
I'm
having
a her.
are you? Yes, she said. Okay, so I tell you
Yes,
what,
I'm a her.
the three of us are going to back away. We're going to let Atalanta get herself set up. I think she'll probably point her camera down toward her desktop. And Atalanta, make sure you got on your pants or long skirt, please. And she's going to do us a bone throwing. Okay, is that what you want to use? I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. I can't hear.
Oh, she's muted. You're muted. Unmute yourself. You have to hit the button and unmute
Let's see.
yourself. You got to do it. I can't.
I think I can.
Okay, is
Yeah,
that
there we
good?
go.
There you go. Now we're going to hear you.
Is
Okay.
there a way that I can, because I'm on laptop, is there a way I can put it on my phone too so I can point
Yeah,
down?
use that same link and you can be on here twice. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to cleanse these first before I do that, and then I'll pop on with my phone.
Okay. And when you come as you're doing the cleansing, go ahead and explain as to what that means and why you're doing it.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm using it's homemade Florida water, actually, Florida water and tobacco cologne, and I'm using it to cleanse the energy from the reading I did previously today. So these bones, all the previous energy that's been attached to them will be completely gone, and we'll be starting like a fresh new slate. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to clean them, and I'm going to pray over them, which I'll pray silently, and then I'll be right back with you and explain what we're going to do next. So.
Okay, if there's anybody just joining us, Atalanta is the bone throwing lady, and she is preparing her items, the bones and whatnot, to do a reading for Playful Rain, who has been with us for a while here. After she gets through with that, if there's anyone else.
Okay, I'm going to introduce this as Playful Rain. This little doll right here will be you, okay? And it's going to represent you in the reading. So I'm going to do that right now. What I'm doing is I'm introducing this to the ancestors, to your ancestors, and I'm basically asking your ancestors, can I speak to you? So with your permission, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Is that okay?
Yes, she said okay.
Okay. Okay, so now let me try to connect my phone.
Yeah, just go back to that link I sent you and
yeah, I'm going to try to do that. And what I'm going to have to do is, hold on just a minute, visit this page. It's telling me to go to the browser, but I'll go ahead and explain.
Yeah, you just go to your Chrome browser. Just follow through. Yeah. There's 3 little dots up there.
Yep.
On the
it says you're entering a broadcast studio.
There you go. You're getting
allow
there.
Allow.
Yeah.
Allow.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, everything's on.
When you pop up here with that one, I'll add it to the screen.
Okay.
Not there yet.
It's wanting my name.
Yeah. Bear with us a second. We're just trying to get to where you. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So there it is. Now, you're going to have to mute your microphone on one of the devices.
Is
There
that
you go.
good?
Yeah.
It's still making the voice.
It'll be okay. You got a little delay. It'll go away.
It'll go away?
It should. Okay, there you go. All right, now your screen is blank on your phone for some reason. Did you mute your camera? Did you turn it? There you go.
Okay, now I gotta put it on.
Hit the mute mic button and up. There you go.
It's making
Who's
that
that?
awful noise.
She's got a twin.
It's making that awful noise.
Yeah, it'll go away. Just leave it just like it is. It just
Okay.
takes a minute
How
to
do I
catch
put
up.
it down? What do you have me doing here? I tell you what, I'm gonna take a picture of it and send it to
No,
you.
you're okay. Listen, I'm going to remove your one camera. No, you took it off. Okay, do it the way
Yeah.
you want to do it. You're fine.
I'm gonna send you a picture of the spread, and you can post the picture up, and we can do it that way. If that's okay.
that'll work. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go over there.
All right, let's do that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and all right, so Playful Rain, we're gonna pray together. I want you to pray to your ancestors that I give you a clear and concise reading. I'm gonna do the same thing. Also, if you want to pray to whoever you pray to, if you're Christian, it would be God, whatever deities that you pray to, but please focus on your ancestors because that's who I'm gonna be communicating with. So we're gonna do that, and I'll let you know when to stop. It'll take just a few seconds. Okay. Now I'm spreading them out. I'm going to take a picture and send it to Kelsey so that way he can post it. And then we're going to get started. And meanwhile, while that's processing, I'm going to look for the self piece. Okay. So I'm going to send this to you, Kelsey, on your regular message, text message. There you go. So you can post that up if you'd like. Okay, so I'm going to start with something called the self piece, which is the piece that represented you. I'm going to kind of hold these pieces up so you know what I'm talking about too. Usually you don't do that during a reading. You leave the pieces where they are, where they've laid out. But I'm going to hold them up. So this right here is the self piece, and this represents you. Okay, and let me see what the reading is going to be entailing as far as the time. It looks like it's between now and the next 9 months. So now in the next 9 months, it's a rather long reading then, okay? So anything that's going on in your life at this moment, this could be applying to, but it could be applying to something that's coming up. And from the looks of it, it looks like most of these things are coming up in the future, but I will let you know as we go. So I'm going to start with just saying that something really big is going to happen in your life between now and 9 months. It's going to be a huge turn of events and situation in your life and your lifestyle. It's going to completely flip your world upside down, but in a positive way. You've got the whale fossil, and that's what this one is. And that means that something really big is going to happen. Now, right next to it is also a very good piece, which is the black cat bone. And the black cat bone means extreme luck. So I'm talking about extreme luck. This is one of the best pieces that you can get in my throw. There are two. This is one of them, and this means that you're extremely lucky in all different ways. Every part of your life over the next 9 months is just going to be really lucky. You're going to have a lot of good things coming to you. It looks like you've got a lot of protection around you. You need to have more confidence in the things that you do and the choices that you make. Your third eye is open, which is one of your chakra points. Third eye is open. Right now we're in if you look at the little peace symbol that's turquoise, that's down toward the bottom, kind of in the center, we're around that area right now. That's what we're looking at. So right above it is where we're talking. That black cat bone that I told you about is right there. That's what we're talking about. So very lucky. A lot of protection is surrounding you and going to be surrounding you over the next 9 months. Your psychic energies are going to be really, really high. So, like I said, you need to have more confidence in what you are doing and what you're believing in and such. This piece right here, this piece that I'm holding up, it says moon on it. That stands for psychic energies, and that's where we're at right now in the throw. So the next piece that we'll go to is the starter piece. And let me find this right here. Okay, it's near you, and it's regarding your home and hearth, which is where you live. It looks like there's going to be some struggle coming up, so just be prepared for that. You're going to get a message of some sort. You're going to need protection, but you're going to have the protection that you need. You've got the viper fangs, and that's what that is. On top of the viper fangs is the Viking pick, which is right underneath the home and hearth deer antler slice. And what that all means, essentially, I know that probably just sounded like a bunch of another language to you, but what that means is that you're going to get some kind of a message regarding your home and hearth that's going to kind of throw you into like an argumentative type situation in a big way. And you're going to need a lot of protection, but you're going to have that protection. And remember what I said, you're going to have a lot of luck this over the next 9 months. So so don't get too upset about that, but just know that that's something that's going to be coming up. The cat foot is turned correctly, so you will land on your feet. So like I said, just you just know that is going to be coming up. The ancestors want you to know that there's going to be like a big situation as far as where you live. That's not going to be that pleasant, that's going to come up. But in saying that, you've got a lot of protection around you, and you are going to land on your feet. Trust your intuition when it comes to that. That situation that's going to be argumentative is going to be because of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Somebody's going to present themselves as your friend or your family, trying to give you some advice. I'm going to roll the calories here in a second, and I'm going to see if it's family or a friend. They're going to give you some advice or try to give you some advice regarding where you're living. Don't take that advice, because that's what's going to cause that big disruption as far as where you live. So now I'm going to roll cowrie shells, which I'll kind of hold up one so you know what I'm talking about. Here's one of them. It's cowrie shell. So I'm going to roll 4 of these, and we're going to determine if this is a family member or if this is a friend. So I'm going to ask out loud, is this Playful Rain's family member that's going to be the wolf in sheep's clothing? Yes, so it's going to be one of your family members. Just kind of beware of that they're going to give you some bad advice. So you're going to come out okay, though. Like I said, you're going to land on your feet, and just the other side of that, next to home and hearth, is the coconut husk piece. And that basically says that everything's going to be happy and healthy and wonderful once you get through that little mess that's happening. You're going to have a lot of clarity. You're going to be able to see what's going on. Yes, it's going to be rocky, but it's going to happen kind of quick, sooner rather than later. It's going to be over like that. You're going to know what's going on. The ancestors are kind of forewarning you, don't take that advice from that family member, okay? We're going to now go to the bracelet, which is kind of screaming, hey, look at me. I'm really important. Pay attention to me. So we're going to see what's inside the bracelet. And it looks like you need to open your lines of communication up a little bit more. You've got the communication piece that's upside down right here. And it's upside down. So you need to open up your lines of communication a little bit more, and not be so agreeable when it comes to things over the next 9 months. Kind of hold your own, but don't be stubborn. You got the ram shell. So don't be stubborn, okay? But on the other hand, don't be so agreeable. You are in the light. You have got, like I said, your third eye is open. Your psychic energy is high. Your intuition is on point. So you're going to know what's going on. You're going to know what's right, what's wrong. You're going to know what's happening. Just don't be a know-it-all. Don't be stubborn about it, but just don't be agreeable with people, because you're going to know what's happening. That's in a huge way. It's also a good time for you to break bad habits. Any bad habits that you have would be really easily to break over these next 9 months. So take advantage of that. The next piece that we'll go to is your family. And let's see, we'll find family. I think I just found it. Yes. Okay. So the family is well protected on a level 5. So that's really good. Your family is very protected. It looks like some opportunities are going to unlock. You've got the little armadillo scales, the little tiny ones. This means protection again. So this is also where your third eye is open. You got the hamsa, third eye is open. Your mental telepathy skills are very good right now. You got the dolphin, and that's what that means. That means you can kind of read people before they even open their mouth, which with your third eye open, your intuition on point, your psychic energy's high, all those things kind of wrap together, your mental telepathy, you've got it really going on for the next 9 months. So any of these struggles that are presented before you, you're going to be able to work through. That's why you're going to be able to land on your feet. The only issue I see here is that there's a lack of confidence. You need to make sure you have confidence in what you're believing in, what you're feeling, what you're seeing. You need to have confidence in that. So it also shows around family that many blessings are coming to you. There's going to be some things that are kind of scattered all over the place that you're going to have to put back together as far as family is concerned. That's probably because of whenever that one family member is going to give you that bad advice or try to give you that bad advice and you don't take it, things are going to kind of go everywhere, and it's going to be up to you to sort of put that back together. Let me see. The next piece we'll go to is friends. We'll find friends. If I don't find it right away, we'll skip over and go to the next one and come back to it. Okay, I don't see it right away, but I do see health. So health is shown by the buckeye. This is a buckeye right here. And basically, your health shows that it's going to be good. What that means is if you're dealing with anything unhealthy right now, it'll either stay the same or it'll actually get better. You'll actually improve and it'll get better. So as far as your health is concerned, that's really good. And the next one that we'll do is work and school. We'll do work. Okay, so as far as work is concerned, now work doesn't necessarily have to mean like you actually get up and go to work, employment, that kind of thing. It could be if you are a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, or if you're a student or anything like that. This is in general what work is concerning. It's going to be overflowing. This doesn't happen very often, and I'm going to show you why. My work piece is a thimble that's a bird, and it's rounded on one end. So for it to stand up with the open side up, it's pretty amazing. So, and that's a really good thing. That means things are going to be overflowing for you. Work is going to be overflowing for you in a positive way. Right around there is the little spiral, and the spiral, which is right here, represents something in your life that's ending, something very big in your life that's ending, and something new is beginning, and it's right near the work piece. So something's going to come up in the next 9 months where your work is something's going to end with it and something's going to begin with it. So that might be a big project, or it might be a new job altogether. It says to have patience. You're going to have freedom from restraint once that work situation changes and goes, from the one to the other. You're going to have freedom from restraint. You're going to feel very free, very fresh. Your ancestors, your recent ancestors, are represented by a skull, which I will show you. A little skull. And that skull is facing inward, your reading, which means your recent ancestors are very much watching over you. So that's super. That's fantastic. Your ancient ancestors, however, you need to work with a little more. This is a piece of pottery that's between 8 and 12,000 years old. This piece of pottery right here. And unfortunately, it's facing this way. And that means you need to do more work with your ancient ancestors. So I don't know if you work with your ancestors or not. it's important that you do, because they're around you all the time. That's who's speaking through me right now. That's who's speaking through the bones right now and giving you this advice. They're constantly around you. If you don't know how to work with them, the easiest thing to do to start is just get a candle or something you can focus on and start talking to them out loud, just as though they were sitting there before you. Just talk to them out loud. Tell them thank you for what they've done for you, and please watch over you, et cetera, et cetera. But you can actually get in touch with me if you want via email or whatnot. At the end of this show, we'll be giving my contact information, and I'll be happy to tell you more ways you can get in touch with your ancestors. That goes for anybody out there, because I'm really adamant about people talking to their ancestors. So let me see if there's anything else that I can see here. Okay, I found the friends piece. Okay, the friends piece shows that you have a tight knit circle of friends. Like, you prefer quality over quantity. It shows peace. It does show a little bit of solitude there, like that you're by yourself sometimes. Your finances, people always want to know about finances. Your finances look like they're going to be really good. Some things that have been not so good financially in the past are going to slowly get better. So I think that's about it as far as your reading. I don't see anything else. You did get the fox nose. The fox nose just means that you can kind of see through people's stuff whenever they try to pull the wool over your eyes, but you can see through it. But yeah, that's about it. That's your reading. So I hope you enjoyed that.
Okay, Playful Rain, if you would, as we continue in the chat box here, share some feedback as to what you got out of that. And as we continue on, Atlanta, Catherine wants a second reading to compare to the other one you did a few months ago, if you don't mind. And I'm going to turn it over. I will turn it over to her and you. Are you there, Catherine?
Okay.
I am here.
Okay,
How
first
are
of all, Playful Rain said your reading was on point.
Oh, yay. Okay, good. I hope you got good
Also
stuff out
said
of it.
thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
She is usually always on point, but so we can go back. What we'll do next week maybe is I can go back and watch the show where you did my last reading, and I can come back and tell you what happened in that time. And
That would be good.
One more brief thing to Playful Rain. Please stick around the next 30 minutes, because Atalanta's going to share all her contact information on how you can get a hold of her for some free advice, what I'm understanding, on how to communicate with your
ancestral advice. Absolutely. Okay. So, Catherine, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to clean the bones first. And you remember the spiel and what I do. I'm going to clean the bones first. And then I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to the ancestors as well. So I'm going to say the prayer. Okay, I'm going to introduce you. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing and take a picture and send it. So that way you can kind of see what I'm looking at. And I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I got to find you. Let's see here. You are hiding. There you are. Okay, I found you. Okay, so you are actually around home and hearth. The love bone is there as well. In abundance. Let's see. But something is holding you back and you're in need. Okay, so let me look at this and see. It looks like you're needing some help with something as far as home and hearth. Let me see what the timeline is here. Oh, it's also long. It's between now and 8 months. I don't remember what the timeline was before that we did for you, but this is between now and 8 months. So, okay, so it looks like something's going to be holding you back from feeling fulfilled in your home. Okay. However, you're going to be able, if you choose to, you can manifest. I'm going to kind of show you on here. You can manifest anything you want. You got the manifestation piece on top of home and hearth, and you can manifest anything you want. But there's something holding you back, and that's within yourself. So you need to trust yourself more. You've got the trust bone. You need to trust yourself more in the things that you do, and you will be able to manifest, like I said, anything you want as far as home and hearth is concerned. Okay.
Alrighty.
It looks like you've got a lot of protection around you, a whole lot of protection. You've got the fox nose, which is what I was just saying. I can't say exactly what it means because it's cousin, but it means nobody can pull the wool over your eyes. Yeah, you got the fox nose. You know what it means.
I know what it means.
You know what it means. No one can pull the wool over your eyes. You also have the bear claw, which means you're kind of standing tall and strong over everyone. Okay, this is all around you and around the beginning of your reading. So this is a lot of information just for the starting. This is your self piece, that piece that represents you. The next thing we're going to go to is the starter piece. So let me find that. Okay, I found it. It has a lot of clarity. You're going to get some clarity over these next 8 months. A message is going to come to you, which is going to clarify some deep trouble that you have at home. Probably referring to what I was just referring to a few minutes ago, and that's what I was saying, that something's going to hold you back as far as your home is concerned, but you can manifest anything that you want. So you need to take advantage of that and not let that happen. You're going to have clarity as to what it is. It's going to come in a message. So use that to your advantage, and it'll give you peace. You got the peace symbol, so the little peace token. So the next that we'll go to is the bracelet. And if you remember, the bracelet is something screaming, hey, look at me. I'm extremely important. And so is the Herkimer Diamond. I don't know if you remember that or not, but they both mean the same thing. They both kind of scream, look at me. I'm very important. In the bracelet, the only thing that I see in there is the piece that means to think emotionally. Go ahead and think emotionally when making decisions over the next 8 months. You don't have to think as logically as somebody would think you would. Just use your emotions and trust your emotions, and they will tell you which way to go when making any decisions. The Herkimer Diamond is actually back over where the self piece is. Okay, so the Herkimer Diamond has the alligator claw right next to it, which means that you're holding on to something, which has to do with the home and hearth. So that kind of lets me know that this thing that's holding you back as far as your home is concerned, as far as your home and hearth and the happiness there, is something within yourself, okay? And something that you're going to need to kind of let go. But you can manifest that and you can let that go. So whether you're dealing with that right now or it comes up in the near future, because it looks like it's going to be something that's going to come up rather quickly if it's not happening right now, just remember that you can manifest that feeling away, and just trust yourself. You'll have clarity, you'll have peace. Don't let it hold you back. Okay. Your ancestors are watching over you. Your recent ancestors. Remember, that's the little skull, okay, and it's facing in, and it's actually facing toward your home and hearth. I know I keep coming back to that, but this reading seems to be pointing in that direction a lot for some reason. So just keep that in mind when you're going over these next 8 months. Let me see here. Once again, I see protection. You got the pentacle, so you got protection, and it's protection over happiness. So you have protection over happiness. Let Let me see what else. Your finances, as far as your big finances are concerned, you've got two pieces. You've got one that means prosperity, and you've got one that means a heavy burden. So don't worry about big finances because you've got prosperity ahead of you. Okay, if that's something that's concerning you or something that comes up soon that concerns you, you're going to have some relief. There's prosperity ahead of you throughout these next 8 months. So know that. You've got the ladybug, and the ladybug represents being a warrior and a fighter. So know it or not, you are a warrior and a fighter. You got the ladybug. Let me see what else we have here. Your third eye is open. You got the hamsa. So third eye is open. Hamsa. Spirit is with you and walking with you. It looks like you will have some obstacles to overcome. Your ancient ancestors are watching over you. So that's good. That's that piece of pottery. They're going to help you with any obstacle that you have. Have you been working with your ancestors at all? Or do you talk to your ancestors? I can't remember if you told me you did or not.
I do talk to my grandparents.
Okay. Well, they're watching over you in a huge way. They're watching over you. Because the skull is literally pointing right at your home and hearth. Okay. And it's only about this far from your home and hearth, which tells me that they're really just shining over you right now. Okay. But your ancient ancestors are also watching over you, which is really good. And they're watching over you as far as obstacles are concerned that you may go through. And so they're walking right next to you. So keep that in mind. It does show you're going to have to make some small sacrifices over the next 8 months, but you're going to have some big changes coming that are really good from those small sacrifices. So keep that in mind. You also got the other manifestation piece. Okay. You got the little citrine, and it's saying manifest anything you want. So over the next 8 months, you really need to focus on that. The health piece is it shows that health is going to get better or stay the same. Like I said in the last reading, that's showing with the eyesight is down, which is a good thing. That means anything health-wise that you're dealing with is not going to get worse, but it could even improve, which is good. And right next to it is the snakeskin shed, which shows transformations. And next to that is the camel bone, which is endurance. So that means your health is going to improve. But as I said, I keep focusing on this home and hearth situation. So that's what I want you to really focus on over the next 8 months. Know that your recent ancestors are extreme. I mean, both are watching over you, but your recent ancestors are literally walking next to you. And they're going to help you with this situation that happens as far as that home and hearth being held back, that kind of thing is concerned. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're muted, Kelsey. There
Yeah,
you
you got what? You got any feedback for her?
I do. I could have a lot of feedback right now.
Okay, keep it
I
short.
manif-
We want to do something else too.
okay, the manifestation thing. Yes, I can. I totally get that. It's happening as I'm seeing it happening now. The home and hearth. Yes, there's a lot of things changing, and I can I can see that coming. I can see that coming too. But definitely something holding me back. Yes, yes, and it's me. You're correct.
Okay. All right. Now, do you have time to stick with us at the lifetime?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
And let's bring Kevin. Kevin,
Yes.
you doing okay, brother?
Yes, I'm doing okay.
No. Okay. You're over there playing with your skull.
I'm just sitting here.
All right. So why don't let's have a little bit deeper stuff. This is fascinating, and we learn a little bit as we go along here. Plus, we got quite a few people that now joined us, and I want them to experience this. So, do you want to do Kevin next or me?
Whichever you want.
I think Kevin needs a good reading.
Yeah,
Kevin, you want a reading?
go ahead.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're gonna remove ourselves and leave it to you guys. Pay attention closely. This is fascinating. Very fascinating.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean the bones like I did before, okay? And I'm gonna say a little prayer
Okay.
over them. And then I'm gonna introduce this piece right here as you to the ancestors, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So this will be a general reading. Just like I did. I'm gonna mix these up. Okay. Do you want me to send a picture to Kelsey too, or do you want me to just kind of go with the flow here?
You just go with the flow. That's fine.
Okay. I'll kind of pick up. Okay, so we're going to start with you, which is the self piece. Let me kind of look around here. Okay, so you've got the small coin is sitting there right next to you, which means everyday finances. You've got the new, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the new, it's a little seashell, beehive seashell, and it means new projects. So you've got some new stuff that's going to be coming up regarding your everyday finances, some new projects that are going to be affecting that in a good way, in a safe way. High energy, very protective. Let me see what your time frame is. So this reading is now in 4 months. Okay, so now in 4 months. Let me see what else we have here around you. It's telling you to keep your lines of communication open. You may struggle with that a little bit over the next 4 months. You need to keep them open. Also, keep your confidence level up as far as whenever you're experiencing anything, you're going to kind of know what's going on. But your confidence is also going to be questioned as far as you're concerned. Your confidence is going to be questioned. Don't let that happen to you. You know what's up and you know what's going on. So just have that confidence within yourself. Your friends are right next to you as well. So there's going to be a lot going on with your friends. Let's see what it is. Your friend. Okay, so this is interesting. Your big finances, which is the big coin, is connected to that little coin with the friends piece. Okay. There's a lock on top of it. So that tells me that your friends are going to have something concerning your big finances. Okay. They're going to have something to do with your big finances. You're going to feel a little bit trapped, but don't feel that way. Just proceed with caution. That's what this little bone is, the porcupine bone. It's kind of like proceed with caution as far as that's concerned. It's not that your friends are going to steer you wrong. It's just that you need to listen to yourself and have confidence in yourself and not them when it comes to your big finances. Okay. And like I said, this is between now and 4 months. So if it's not something you're dealing with now, it's going to come up within 4 months, which is rather soon. So like I said, your small finances are going to be affected in a positive way by a new project. Okay. High energy, very protective. Things are good. Your large finances, you don't want them to be affected by your friends. And like I said, your friends, it's not like they're out to get you or anything like that. They care about you. Things are fine. They just might not know that they're steering you in the wrong direction and you don't want to get trapped. So proceed with caution with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Your talents are really going to shine over the next 4 months. Like I said, you're going to be in a nice, safe space. There's going to be a situation coming up regarding your large finances. There's going to be a situation coming up that's kind of muddy, kind of cloudy. That's whenever your friends are going to want to jump in and give you advice, but don't. You need to stick to your own advice and trust what you know. Okay. We'll go to the starter piece. If I can find it. Is hiding. Okay, so the starter piece shows that you're always going to land on your feet for the next couple of months. You are going to go through some rough spots. I think that that's going to be regarding that financial situation that's kind of warning you. The bracelet is right near where that piece is that I just talked about, where it shows you're going to go through some rough spots. And remember, the bracelet is something you really need to pay attention to, and it's screaming, look at me, I'm very important. In it is huge blessings, okay? A lot of blessings are coming to you over the next few months. But right outside of it is that little dark as the bat, okay? And that's that little dark space that's going to be in your life. But like I said, I think that has to do with the large financial situation if you don't trust yourself and you trust somebody else instead. It shows you're going to be really busy with that, and it's going to end up unlocking some opportunities for you. Let me see what this one is. You're going to be able to release a lot of stress, and that may come along with it. You're going to be able to release a lot of stress pretty easily, and that's going to release any kind of animosity or anything that you have toward anybody regarding your finances. You got the black cat bone, which is the lucky bone that I talk about, the black cat bone. You got that one. That's really good. That means you're going to be super lucky. So go gamble somewhere and win the lottery because you got the black cat bone. So the other piece that you got that's really good is, where did it go? I just saw it. I may have to come back to, oh, it's right here. The cameo. You got the cameo. So the cameo is another piece. There's two great pieces in my collection. This is the that are fantastic. The one is the black cat bone. You also got the cameo. That means everything in your life is going to be smooth and wonderful and happy. So work, play, home life, everything like that's going to be really good. Okay, everything's going to turn out great. And remember, I said you're going to always land on your feet. You got the sorry about that. You got the cat foot, and it's landed the right way. So you're going to land on your feet. Let me see here. You have a lot of good positive things coming towards you. This is a good time for you to break bad habits as well over the next 4 months. So if you've got anything that you're wanting to stop doing, this is the good time to do it. You need to work with your ancestors a little bit more because they're faced not out, not in, but kind of to the side. So do you ever work with your ancestors?
Well, it depends on what you mean, like living ancestors or?
No, your deceased ancestors. Do you ever talk to like your deceased ancestors?
No.
That's probably why they're facing, they're like, look at me, pay attention to me. So yeah, you need to work with them a little bit more because they're kind of not, they're not facing inward. They're facing kind of sideways. Okay. So that means, and that's the skull that I was talking about. It's your recent ancestors. And let me see about your ancient ancestors. So your ancient ancestors are not watching over you either. They're flipped over, and that means that they want you to work with them as well. So like I was telling, I forgot the name of the person I was reading for in the beginning. But anyway, I was telling them, Playful Rain. Yeah. Like I was telling Playful Rain, you can start off with just meditating with a candle and just outwardly talk like you and I are talking right now, and thank them for opportunities that they've given you. Thank them for the spirits talking to you. Thank them for the protection that they've given you, because they're around you everywhere you go. Even if you don't, and I want to make this clear with people out there that maybe adopted, they're worried that I can't get in touch with my ancestors. You can, because it's kind of like DNA. They start, there's a light and it trickles down through the generations and it trickles into you. So talk to your ancestors and get to know them, and they will help you out a lot. So if you plan on traveling over the next 4 months, it's safe for you to do so. You got the travel piece sitting the right way. If you want to set down roots in anything, whether that be like work, play, or school, or anything like that, where you live, if you just want to sit down roots, this is a good time to set down roots in anything that you want to do, anything at all that you want to do. You once again have blessings coming to you. You're going to be casting out old stuff and bringing in new stuff, okay, in your life. You're going to be casting out the old, bringing in the new. That's what the owl pellet represents. And let me see what else. Is there any questions that you have on a subject? Oh, your psychic abilities are really, really high too over the next 4 months, like higher than they normally are. they're going to be really just screaming at you. So be prepared for that because they're already high. So the next 4 months is going to be like overload.
Maybe that
So
explains the REM pod and all that activity.
I've got to interject a thought here. Even when the smile he gave, his reaction to his psychic powers was stronger than even the wealth you were talking about. I mean, he just kind of, and then when you got to that other, it was like,
well, the finance part is more like be careful. Well, like you're gonna be rich. It's like be careful. So if somebody like Kelsey goes on going, I can make you money. I gotta go.
You gotta go, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It could mean.
But your psychic powers are going to be huge. So your psychic energy is going to be really high.
All right, I'm sorry. I just caught my eye. Like he was more excited about that than he was any amount of money.
Is there anything like that you have a question about? Because I have, like I said, I have 150 pieces or more here. Is there anything you have a question about that maybe I can look in here for you?
No, I mean, right now I didn't really have any concerns, but the finance thing. Of course, I have people, particular people close to me that sometimes come along needing to borrow money, and I know I'm never going to see it again. So I'll probably be careful there.
Yeah,
but also
with caution for sure.
But also, I was thinking too, it could go either way. It could be if something good comes along, like somebody offers something work-wise or whatever, and a friend saying, "No, don't do that." Maybe not jump to their suggestion right quick, but look.
Yeah.
What do I feel? Is it a good decision? They might not think it is, but it might be. So
well, add that.
You need to trust what you feel.
Add that thought to the fact that she said your psychic powers are up. So you would have that stronger sense anyway.
Yeah,
so listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Better than that,
have that
Kevin.
confidence. Remember, have that confidence.
Kevin, you've got my phone number, so listen to me.
There it is. There it is, Moonfire. There's that thing you warned me about.
That's right. That's what I warned you about. See, I told you. I tried to tell you.
He's even got fake hair.
How do you know it? How do you know it's fake? Maybe the bald head is fake and this is real. Did you ever think of that? No, you didn't think of that. So much for your psychic powers.
Oh my goodness. Let me see if I see anything else here. You're going to go on an internal journey within yourself. That's going to make you it's going to make you have more courage and wisdom and just in life in general, but it's going to be like an internal journey.
It's called indigestion from the top.
Oh my God.
He was going to say something like fart or something like that.
I'm going to beat him when I see him next. You know that? Yeah. I'm going to beat him. The other thing that I saw that you need to work with is your spirit guide. Your spirit guide is facing outward. So you need to work with your spirit guide. So your ancestors and your spirit guide are fussing at you right now because you're not talking to them. So
I get that feeling with all the little spirit. Used to I was so active with them in investigations, and when COVID happened and things slowed down, I feel like I've been neglectful, which is why I'm trying to do more. Even more with the show here, doing more live,
Now, on a serious note from this reading, Kevin, because I know Kevin so well, what I got out of this earlier part about some of this money stuff was that you are supposed to go to play the Powerball in Tennessee or Mississippi. And one of your close friends, it could be your dad or your brother or whomever, is going to give you some numbers to play. Don't play those numbers. Play
your number.
Or they might say, "Don't go," and I should ignore that and go ahead. And go.
There you go.
Because you got the black cat bone. If it were me, I would be going.
And it's interesting because there was a couple of cat items in there, right?
Yeah. There's this is a real black cat bone.
And he's a cat guy. I mean, he's really attached to his cat.
Could that have something to do with I have a cat, and I've been worried about her just here the last couple of months. She's getting better, but she started withdrawing more, and she was itching a lot. I took her to the vet, and he said it was just allergy. I think she's getting better now. So
How old is she?
she's only 8, so she's a middle-aged cat.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Well-
old cat outside's healthy as a horse, but then my 8-year-old gets itchy.
Aw, it's just allergies. You gotta get that spray for her. You know what I'm talking about? The spray that Playful Rain has 3 black cats. That's awesome. Well, Playful Rain, I just want you to know something about my black cat bone. So I acquired this humanely as possible. The poor black cat got run over, and one of my friends did a very honorable burial for him, and asked the cat if we could take the bones, et cetera, et cetera. So he buried that poor cat that got run over, and he blessed the bones, et cetera. And I ended up with one. So that's how I got my black cat.
And the part of that story that she left out is that she ran the cat over.
Oh my God!
Look at him again with the wig over there.
That's just wrong in so many ways.
Yeah, it is. He's just
You don't know me by now.
Animal over in the world. Okay? But I like playing with her bones.
Oh God, that sounds even worse. Now she's into bestiality.
Oh my God.
God.
Well, I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah, awful. See, he'll take anything you say and just
Twist it around. Twist it all around.
He's so mean.
So Kevin, did you agree with anything she had there?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And
so you got a bone reading before, right?
yeah, we did this when she was on before. Yeah. And I was trying to remember back then what was up, but I think it was with one of my dolls.
Oh, I remember one thing she said.
Yeah, it was with a doll.
Yeah, back then she pulled up one. She said, "We're going to do this again, a deja vu moment after a few months."
Yeah, and yeah, you said the doll was wanting to say something, and that was back earlier in the pandemic. And I did what was it, a week later after I did I think it was about leave a little gift and burn a candle. So then a week later I did the spirit box, and I said, "What did you want to say?" And something was said about life in there, like what was going on in the world. I said, "What did you want to say?" And she said, "Just enjoy it."
Oh, wow.
It was almost like a feeling of, she was saying, don't let all the negative crap going on affect you. You go ahead and enjoy your life. Because there's a lot of negative crap in the world right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All right. If you want to stick around, do me a reading. That's fine. If not, that's fine too.
I'm good. You want to do it?
Sure.
You have to behave yourself.
I'm going to interject on his.
I'll leave you there so you can.
I can do the sound effects while you're getting
The sound effect.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we're not neglecting her. She's still here, right? Okay.
She might have gone to sleep by now.
I was just messaging you, telling you I wanted back in the show.
What people fail to get is I am a psychic. And I'm sorry they got it wrong on those reports. It said psychotic. They spelled it wrong. It's psychic, not psychotic.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Psychotic, crazy, beyond needs to be locked up.
Well, I just don't see why we can't enjoy our church service and have fun with it, you know.
Church service, so where's the hymns at?
And when people get together, people are, oh, you want to sing a hymn?
Oh, you're going to sing something rotten.
I want to sing a her.
I'm not going to lie, Atalanta, that made me feel so much better after hearing these tonight.
Oh, good. Good. Now that makes me happy. I've got a link on my website from the show where we did. I have all the shows that I've been on with you, Kelsey, that links on my website. So I'm going to go back and and watch those episodes, the first readings that I did. I'm going to go back and watch that. So, okay, so I've cleansed the bones. Are you ready? You ready to behave yourself?
No, but go ahead.
All right, so let me mix them.
That sounds like Santa Claus is coming.
You're gonna make this real hard to concentrate, aren't you?
I'm sitting here thinking the old man in the nursing home.
I was thinking of shaking the dice and playing the craps or something.
I'm talking about Kelsey being the old man in the nursing home.
You guys, I'll tell you what. I'm over here laughing as I'm speaking to the ancestors. They're probably like,
Well, I know what the bone's going to say about me. It's like within 6 months, you're going to be working at the comedy club and people will be throwing tomatoes at you.
oh. Let's see what your timeline. Your timeline is 5 months. So between now and 5 months.
So now I've only got 5 months to live. Okay.
Now you've got 5 months. That's it. So let's see what's around you. Oh, your ancient ancestors are watching over you. So that's good.
All my ancestors are ancient. Okay.
Yep, your ancient ancestors. You are. They are showing you the truth. It's a good time for you to manifest anything that you want to manifest over the next 5 months. Is that what we said?
Yep.
Now's a good time to manifest things. So your what is that box you had that you made? It's a good time to really make that. Your wishing machine. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, that's a good time for you to really get out there with that because
it keeps going. I send
manifestation.
That thing. I send them all over the world. Literally.
Wow.
Yesterday I sent one to Hawaii and one to Massachusetts. You know, the only place on the planet I've never sold one is Alabama.
Alabama. Isn't that weird? Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I've sort of Mexico, all over the place. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, your manifestations and stuff like that are just huge right now. That's right on top of you, laying right on top of you. Success, gaining success is right next to you. Diving deep into your spiritual world. You're going to need to dive even deeper into your spiritual world over the next 5 months. I think I already mentioned this, but your psychic energies are pretty high too right now. You also got the moon. So boom, you got the moon. That's good. And that's right next to you. It shows that you have a lot of protection. This is like a armadillo scale that's a fossil. So that means protection. We will go to the starter piece. Okay, so things over the next 5 months are going to go really, really fast for you. Okay. You also got the cameo, which means everything is going to be great. Work, play, just everything is going to be awesome. Money, everything's going to come out really good. But things are going to go really fast. You've got the sundial shell, and that means the next 5 months things are going to go extremely fast. So hold on, because it's going to be a fast ride. You're going to have to make some sacrifices over the next 5 months as far as work is concerned, but it'll put you moving in the right direction. So it's okay to do that. Let me see what else we have here. It's going to bring good health, and this is a coconut husk. It's going to bring good health to your living situation, all in general. Like I talked about the cameo, everything about the next 5 months is going to be really good. It shows you're a very committed person, high intelligence. Once again, you're moving in the right direction. You've got strong endurance over the next 5 months, so you can endure anything, any kind of problem that's put before you. In the bracelet, and remember, like I said, the bracelet is something that that's really important in your life. It's saying, hey, look at me over here. I'm important. Things that you have started are going to come to fruition. Things are going to be finished. Like projects that you have started, you're going to be able to finish them over these next 5 months. It shows that you're going to have victory. So once again, anything that's put before you that's an obstacle or a problem, you're going to be able to be victorious over. You're going to be helping a lot of people over the next 5 months, and you're going to be kept very busy doing so. It's going to bring you a breath of fresh air, like when you were a child and you walked outside and you could just like breathe the air and feel like you could do anything in the world. And that's what this piece represents, and it's a breath of fresh air. That's what it's going to bring you, all this help that you're bringing to everybody else. As far as work is concerned, there's a piece inside there. It's the truth piece. Okay, so as far as work is concerned, you're going to see the truth. You're going to see what you really want out of work, what your real goals are, and that kind of thing. What you're really wanting out of work. That truth piece is inside that work piece right there. Let me see. Your manifestations, like I said before, are really good. You also got the citrine standing upright. So, like I mentioned, earlier, manifest everything you possibly can. That's probably because you have that box, that just kind of blew everything up. That's probably why. It shows you've got a lot of protection around you, and you also have things that you're going to cast out of your life, and you're going to bring new things in. So you're going to get rid of, you're going to kind of like spring clean your life. You're going to be throwing all this kind of crap out, and you're going to leave room for all kind of new good stuff to be coming in, and it's all going to flush in because of the fact that you're just pushing the other things that you don't need away. You're going to push out. You need to think logically over the next 5 months and not emotionally. So if something comes up that you feel like you might get emotional over or whatnot, just think logically over it when encountering any kind of obstacle. Because remember what I said, you're going to be able to overcome any of those obstacles, but you just have to do it with logic rather than emotion. As far as your friends are concerned, it looks like you got the spiral right on top of your friends, the spiral. And I don't know if you remember what that means, but that means that something really big is going to end and something really big is going to begin. So it's sitting right on top of your friends piece. So that tells me that something's going to change as far as your friendships are concerned, or your friendship with someone is concerned. It's going to change in a really big way. But the bell is right next to it. So it's going to be a happy situation, not a bad situation. Your ancestors are not looking at you either. You need to work with your ancestors. Do you work with them ever?
Oh, but they hide from me.
They don't hide from you. They're all around you.
They've been talking to Kevin lately.
That's an excuse.
They're
Your
saying, why are you
recent
so
ancestors-
abusive to Kevin? I said, because he deserves it. And they say, we're not going to
Your
talk to him.
recent ancestors, you need to work with them. Your ancient ancestors are watching over you just fine. But your
Now,
recent ancestors, your ancient ancestors from
Well,
thousands of years.
They were never as close to me as the more recent ones were. So they're
Yeah,
clearly
the recent ones. No, the recent ones you need to work with. They're faced the wrong way. They're faced outward, so you need to work with them. They're facing out.
That's the way it was in life too, before they died.
Now, you need to instead of getting in touch with your feminine side, you need to get in touch with your ancestral side.
That's right. That's right. So, do you have any questions? Like, as far as health is concerned, you got the same thing. It's going to be good. If anything you're dealing with now is, not going to get worse. If anything, it'll get better, or it'll just stay the same. So,
I
can't kill him.
You can't kill him.
When I had my physical this year, they said the only thing that was wrong with me was mental and emotional. So.
And the horns coming out.
Is there anything that you have a question about that you want me to look at with this? Any subject?
When is Kevin going to quit picking on me?
Vice versa. When are you going to quit picking on Kevin?
That's right. When are you going to quit picking on him, Kelsey?
He's my little brother.
Picking on me.
Why is everybody always picking on me? You know what? I really enjoyed this tonight. I enjoyed the readings that you were so free to give us. Before we call it an evening, please give out at Atlanta so people like Playful Rain can get a hold of you and say, how can I talk to my ancestors? Okay, yeah. So you can reach me on two great ways. One is on my website, www.atlanta.moonfire.com. And then also I'm on a new platform now where I'm teaching classes and doing all kinds of stuff. You can check it out on Patreon,
which is www.patreon.com/Atalanta Moonfire. And you have to make sure that you don't go to the search and do it because you won't find me that way. You have to actually put it in that way. But that's my new platform that I'm teaching on as well. So, and the subscriptions are as low as $5 a month, and you can learn bone throwing. You can learn anything. But as far as getting in touch with me for the ancestral work, anybody that wants to do that, just get on my website and contact me through my website, and I will give you that information. And no, it doesn't cost you anything. I'll be happy to share that with you.
Woo-hoo. Very good. So, Catherine, did you get anything out of this tonight? Hello.
I did. I had to mute the microphone. It takes me a second to unmute it. I have dogs, and they're wild. And yes, I got a lot out of this tonight. I got a little peace of mind of what's going on in my life.
Good. So on the next one, Kevin, how'd you feel about this show tonight?
Yeah, I enjoyed the show, and it was very comfortable. And the reading, I'm gonna have to keep my eye out the next 4 months and see what happens.
And keep in mind,
if you do Charman, but we can do that next week.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, next week we'll get a Charman. This show went well. Yeah, I thought Charman. I didn't hear you correctly.
What is that? That was great.
You'll have to tune in next week to know.
That's a legend in California.
Don't talk about it. Keep the suspense. This is a cliffhanger. Okay.
A cliffhanger.
You gotta hang in there for chapter 2.
So, Kelsey, what did you get out of it?
I'll be in Tampa.
Here's what I got out of it, comparing my reading and Kevin's reading. You heard my reading, Kevin? You heard what she said?
Well, yes, I did.
Okay.
I kept my mouth shut.
Around me is all this great success stuff. So when I give you the advice I'm going to give you next week, you need to listen.
And ignore it.
Oh gosh, you gonna give it? He's gonna have a big head this week. Oh
yeah,
gosh,
it's gonna swell up too big for that wig. He's gonna get a new wig.
The reality is that there are positives and negatives in my world today, and amazingly, what I have put together. I'm not getting rich, but the money worries are not. I just don't have that great, I have, like anybody else, got to manage your money, but the income has been good. Unlike other people, I don't have to go. I'm kind of like you are, Atalanta. I don't have to punch a clock. The only rigid schedule I got is when I officiate weddings on the weekend. Other than that, I can run around and do most of what I do at home. So I'm not complaining on that end. But yeah, thank you very much. We all thank you. Purple Rain thanks you. And
thank you.
I look forward to next week when we talk about the Char, CHAR man.
I'm going to be in Tampa. I'm going to be in Tampa next week. That's not good. That's okay. I'll go back and watch it.
You can watch it on your cell phone.
Driving home. Yeah, I can watch it on the cell phone. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm working.
There you go. Kevin, how do they get a hold of you and buy your books?
Well, of course, they just simply go to myhauntedDolls.com. Where's my little banner up there? It is. Throw it up over our faces there. myhauntedDolls.com. And just click on the shop. You can find the books out there, like these here, right here. Black Crimson. And where? Looks like Kelsey deleted my book covers again. Where's my other book cover? Yo, there we go. There's another one. Gotta make sure Moonfire buys a book now. You got
Playful Rain, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Anytime that Atalanta wants to come on and promote herself and enjoy our company, we're just wonderful people. At least we think so. But of course, you're always welcome. We enjoy your readings, and each time you do it, I learn a little bit more about what's going on, get a better feel for it. And of course, the three of us, otherwise known as the Three Stooges of Alabama.
Not the Three Amigos? Oh,
yeah.
The Three Stooges.
Earlier on, Kevin wanted him and I to get together and be a 21st century Laurel and Hardy, I think.
I thought it was going to be Abbott and Costello.
Oh, Abbott and Costello, that's it. we're gonna read.
But that's
We
fine.
we're gonna do a remake of the Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein movie.
Chick! Or chick, her name Chick. That's my
Abnormal Alabama YouTube, Abnormal Alabama here on also Facebook, where we stream live. If you're not a member of our group over there, please join. I keep telling people like Atlanta, feel free to go over there and post and promote on our page as well. If you've got videos you want to share about throwing bones, throw them up there. We're here, and Kevin does it all the time. I mean, he don't even ask. He just
I
says,
throw bones.
"Here's my stuff."
Oh, here's my stuff. Yeah, where's
Yeah.
those banners at again?
So anyway, that's what it's all about. AbnormalAlabama.com, MyHauntedDolls.com, my book, Dating the Dead at datingthedead.com. You can get look at that if you want to. We're not pushing anything. We're enjoying our lives, and we're all growing and learning together, I hope. And even though, and I think, even when I officiate weddings, I tell the couples that the key to a successful marriage is a good sense of humor. And I love to laugh, and I hope nobody's offended by that. I'm not politically correct, so don't even think that's going to happen. I'll be 67 in another couple of weeks. So I don't think I'm going to change much, except for maybe wearing this wig more often.
There's no hope for him.
Well, I tell people it's like when I die, I'm going to be cremated because I got to get used to burning. So there you go.
Oh, me. I don't know what to do with him, y'all.
You gotta get him
I know,
back out
right?
of the
What are you gonna
hellfire.
do with them?
So yeah. So if you're talking to me after I'm dead, you'll probably hear a lot of snap, crackle, pop in the background, and
Go smell that smoke.
a voice saying, "Get to work, shovel that coal."
Good
work.
Elsie.
All right. Again, thank everybody for joining. Even in the archive version, people like Playful Rain, like and share this on YouTube. Just get it out there. Social media, Instagram, help us out. We've been doing this for a long time. We don't get paid to do it, and we haven't sold enough books to pay us to do it either. So anyway, part of it's fun. We do enjoy and we do learn from each other and love sharing these stories. And we love Atlanta over there and her bones. So anyway, she gave a new perspective on bones, instead of just that country song, digging up bones, I'm digging up bones.
Digging up
So Playful Rain, thank you again, Catherine, Kevin, Atlanta.
I just got a bone to pick with you.
Just gonna rip it right out.
Hey, I got to get my joke in here, too.
Oh gosh, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. So
But I know what it was.
just because she got X-rated a little bit earlier, I'm not going to.
I wasn't going to go that route.
I thought earlier he was going to go that route.
Look at that. That otherwise sweet innocent face coming out with that crass stuff. Yeah.
Who? Who are you talking about? I'm sweet and innocent.
All right.
Kind of like your post I gave you today with your upside down kilt.
That's it.
Oh my God.
It was so cute. It was a bat.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I do wear kilts. So anyway.
Kilts are awesome.
Yeah.
Kilts are sexy. Those are good.
Very I tell you what, driving long distances, it's a lot better than having that locked up stuff, it just it's uncomfortable. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We went into overtime tonight, but it was so pleasurable and so fun. But there are things to do tomorrow, like poor Kevin has to go to work.
You're so going to go to work.
I got to go to work too.
I know.
Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Have a good night.
Adios.
Good night.
Good night.